And now I would like to invite Mr. Daniel Juma Omondi, the Executive Director, Global Peace Foundation, Kenya.
Okay, thank you, Trix and Frank, for the good emceeing today. So, all protocols observed, all the stakeholders in education here today, all the schools, and all our wonderful guests who have been here today. Good evening. So, as you heard, my name is Daniel Juma. I am the Country Director of the Global Peace Foundation. And on behalf of the organizing committee of the Great Places to School, it is my honor and privilege to welcome all of you to this second award, honoring our own very great schools. Before I proceed, let me recognize our partners. The Standard Media Group Foundation, Orlando has just left here, is really, really passionate about education. I want to also honor the Kenya Private Schools Association. You know, Kenya Private Schools Association, the private sector has really invested in education, complementing government efforts to provide education. And I also call upon other people who have the money to spare. There is a great deal of opportunity to invest in education. So you solve a problem, and you make money out of it. So I want to really thank the Kenya Private Schools Association. I hope this time you can encourage more of your members to come on board so that they can be able to showcase their greatness. You know, I also thank Semastia, Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology in Africa. You know, we worked with Semastia when Mr. Njoroge was you know, the director, and Mr. Njoroge really is one person who believed in education. I met Njoroge when he was the principal of Moi Forces Academy. And when we introduced to Moi Forces Academy the concept of leap hubs, which Global Peace Foundation introduced in secondary schools. This is basically, these are spaces in high schools where students can be able to learn how to become, you know, the next, you know, industrialist. So I want to encourage many of our people, because in school you have people who want to go and do debating, drama, and they want to do sports. But we have those other people who want to become like Manu Chandaria, my patron. They want to make money. So we created these leap hubs as spaces where these young people can be able to innovate the next big idea, the next M-Pesa. M-Pesa was innovated by a young person in Kenya. So I'm thinking that if we're able to invest in these young people, encourage them, you know, and enable them, you know, then we will have the next idea that will generate, you know, thousands and thousands of employment will come from our schools today. That's why I want to encourage all our schools. Let's invest in our people. I think we always complain about the youth badge. At Global Peace Foundation, we believe that the youth badge doesn't have to be a burden, that the youth badge is a resource, that instead of complaining about how many people we are, we can actually take advantage, empower them to become innovative. And when they become innovative, then we can create more wealth together as a nation. And also I want to really thank Opinion Track, who have really worked with us to be able to do research, because this is a research-based exercise. You know, without research, we cannot do much. So we believe that we must utilize research to be able to improve our education. So Moringa School, as you have heard here, you know, they came in as partners, and Safaricom. Safaricom, I want to really appreciate the sponsorship manager, Paris and Duta Muhoro, who really, when she heard about this idea, she really went for it. And she told me next time Safaricom wants to become in a big way. So I want to welcome Safaricom to become the title sponsor next time for the next years, immediately after this ends. So we started this journey in 2019, as you heard, together with the Standard Media Group and Semastia, and that time we worked with Chifa And these organizations, my organization, have been on the forefront of advocating for placing character formation at the center of our education. Character and creativity category, which you had here being taken, underscores the need for character as a foundation for leadership. This further underscores the belief that Nelson Mandela said, that education is the most powerful tool that you can use to change the world. At Global Peace Foundation, we have continued to focus on education initiatives because we believe that education is an essential tool for peace building. When we talk about violence in this country, the reason why we fight now, we're just about to go to the next election, and people are worried about Kenya, going back to 2007. So research has proved that countries that have high illiteracy rates, are more prone to violence. So if people are educated, if we invest in education, then people don't fight. Why do we fight for elections? Why do we fight for who is president? How does it help me who is president? It just helps him and his family, right? So, so people who have not gone to school will not understand, the reason why we vote. The Constitution says every 5 years we must subject ourselves to an election. Why do we fight? Because my candidate did not win. So we need more education, and especially civic education, to let people understand why we go for elections. And that's why we at Global Peace Foundation has placed education at the center of peace building. So if people are educated, they have no time for violence. If you empower the youth, you make them, innovate, embrace innovation. You make them get livelihood. They have no time for misuse. They are no longer available for misuse by the politicians. They're not available for recruitment into extremism. And that's why we believe that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. So Great Places to School is a private sector initiative to create awareness on the quality of education in Kenya. This initiative is an affirmation that Kenya is not only the biggest economy in the region, but also a hotbed of quality education. Yes or no? We are a hotbed of quality education. Unlike before, when Kenyans were sending, when I was young, we were sending students to study in India and other foreign countries. We are confirming here today that this is no longer necessary because we have great places to school in Kenya. Yes or no? We have seen them here. So these schools are good. So instead of sending your kids, to Europe, to India, send them to these schools. If you want to send them to high quality schools, expensive schools, we have expensive schools. International Schools of Kenya, Braeside, Brook, you can, any amount you want to pay, you can get it here. So when the pandemic came, many countries closed schools for fear of driving infection. But we later learned that closing school was really a worse solution than the problem itself. And to quote one Donald Trump, I know some people like Donald Trump, some people don't like him, but he said that, something that I really believe in, he said that the solution can never be worse than the problem. So when we closed our schools, you saw what happened, right? Many girls got pregnant. We had statistics about many girls getting pregnant. We had young people going into crime and all that. So education is a serious driver of economy. So I know that, and that's one of the reasons why I believe that going forward, we really need to invest, especially in online learning, so that in future, if another pandemic comes, God forbid, we don't have to close our schools again. I hope we never close our schools again. So ladies and gentlemen, the fact that we are here today is a demonstration that once again schools are leading in the efforts to build back better. Schools are leading. So we had discussion with the Kenya Private Schools Association, and they had this meeting with the Ministry of Education, and they really encouraged the ministry to open schools. Some parents did not want to open schools because they were afraid that their kids would die. But when the students went back to class, my own children went back to class, they have never caught COVID. And if we have research, education, and we are able to actually make better decisions. In the year 2017, the World Economic Forum rated Kenya's education system as the strongest in the African continent, while in 2018, the World Bank ranked Kenya the top African country for education outcomes, actually number 1 out of 43 in Africa. In the year 2019, our own Peter Tabichi, how many heard about Peter Tabichi? A Kenyan was named the most outstanding teacher in the world and awarded the prestigious Global Teacher Prize worth $1 million. So Kenya is really a hotbed of quality education. In Kenya, we have quality teachers. So, and this is one of the reasons why I'm very passionate about Great Places to School. We really need to show that this country has great schools. And if they're not great, then really we need to go to the era when our schools were great again. In this regard, I take this opportunity to thank the government of Kenya and private investors in education, most of whom are members of the Kenya Private Schools Association, for their continued investment in education. Finally, I take this opportunity to congratulate all the winning schools here today for their efforts to promote the quality of learning in Kenya. I hope that these awards serve as an encouragement to do better. However, I would like also to encourage those other schools that were not recognized to feel challenged, raise their standards, and participate in future editions of these Great Places to School. As a word of encouragement, I want to really quote, for all of you, allow me to quote the Deputy Chief of Staff at the Presidential Policy and Strategy Unit at State House, Mrs. Ruth Kagia. Actually invited her to come and speak on behalf of State House. And she was not able to come, but she said this, and she told me to convey this message to you. She said this, and I quote, "This recognition of Great Places to School is a great initiative as it motivates the good schools and also challenges the others to raise their standards." Yes or no? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, let me again take this chance to encourage you, encourage all those who are here today, and encourage the government, to really put education at the forefront. In other countries, to become a teacher is very difficult. In Finland, Korea, to become even a kindergarten teacher, it's very difficult. You must pass highly. But in Kenya, I remember when we were going to high school, sometimes when you wanted to become a lawyer or a doctor, and you didn't reach the pass marks, then you are sent to become a teacher, go and become an untrained teacher. So we really must make education quality. We must make sure that our teachers are the most qualified. And even when they are the most qualified, the government, and Martha Odundo is here from the Ministry of Education and all the officials here, let us remunerate our teachers, because the teaching profession is the most important profession. Because everybody passes in the hands of a teacher, right? Everyone. I speak how I speak because of my teacher. You're really passionate about English speaking. Really, if the teachers don't get it right, then the students don't get it right. We are here, when we are here today, even the president is State House, but his children are with the teacher somewhere. So I believe that really we must make a lot of effort to make sure that our teachers don't go on strike. Those days when teachers were going Hakietu on the road, I wish I never see that again. Because when teachers are disillusioned, when teachers are sad, then our students have no role models. These are the people who have, students, even those who don't have parents. Teachers are like their next role model. So really my passion is how can we be able to motivate our teachers? So in the next category, and I want to really sit down with the partners and other partners so that we revisit these categories. I'm looking at, I had Teddy Warrior, talk to me about climate change. One of the categories in future would be how do we encourage schools to plant trees, so that they can win. We can create a category to do with climate change. I happen to be a director at the Standard Media Foundation, and Orlando here, and the board appointed me for that. And in the Standard Media Group Foundation, we plant trees. Every time we have an event, we plant trees. to be able to commemorate, because we really must increase our forest cover. So I think climate change can be one of the categories in the future. So I want to welcome all of you. Can you, as educators, I'm not a teacher myself, maybe you can suggest, can we increase, can we add on another category so that this event can be able to have a wholesome definition, all the variables of what we consider a great place to school can be achieved. So in short, on behalf of the Global Peace Foundation, I really want to thank all of you, all the partners. I want to welcome all other partners, those who are here today. I want to say, in conclusion, that education is the business of everybody. Education is too important to be left to government alone. You cannot leave education to teachers alone. You cannot leave education to Minister of Education alone. As a parent, education matters to you. So you can never pretend that education doesn't matter to you. This is why everybody in Kenya must be concerned about education. So let's join hands, to support our schools. At the Ministry of Education, they have the Department of Quality Assurance. So these great places to school is adding value to that quality, so that when the inspectors come, from Ministry of Education, the teachers don't have to choreograph. Oh, we clean the school, we coach the students on what they say. No. We want you to say with vigor, with conviction, that we are the school of character. We are the school of cleanliness. We are the school of climate action. And then you apply for an ISO. This is like an ISO certification for schools. So I call upon all of you, let's work together and make our schools great again. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of you.